always check that your sound is working. Don't be like me and record the opening and then realize that you haven't recorded the sounds. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Ethalor Plays Go. Today we have another video where we go through my previous games. Here we have me as a 17Q, and yeah, so we'll get take a look. You'll find that we're looking at the same player. This is the point that I was making. So yeah, you'll see that this is quite similar. If you've seen the previous videos, I think a lot of the similar kind of themes continue. Despite there being a lot of similar themes in these videos, we'll see that actually I'm still improving, but yeah, at the same time, there are some parts of my game that are really sticking a little bit. So yeah, so let's take a look. So this is pretty standard opening. These small enclosures were really popular back in the day. So I think this is 2013. So these days, these small enclosures are probably seen as a bit over-concentrated. They're still fine. You can play them if you want, but this is something that was just more popular back then. So yeah, I think these days I will go for these kinds of hane, or not the shoulder hits, and you can play this way or push this way. That's kind of how it tends to go. Or if there's a push, you can play away as well. So that's more common these days. I won't go into the reasons as to why, but yeah, that's it's not that it's a mistake. If you play this way, it's not bad, but yeah, that's what's going on. So here we approach, they jump, and we make a base, so that's okay. They take, once again, this is, beginners take the points on the sides of the board, so that's fine as well. And I go for the attachment. I think these days this attachment isn't viewed. I mean, back in the day, this was definitely viewed as a mistake. These days, I think that it's not as recommended when the stone is high like this. But okay, so this is what I do, and then I descend here. So I would recommend against this because here we see that we have this hane at the head of two stones. So white gets to curl around black, and their shape is a bit low. Meanwhile, white gets to make a big corner. So instead, it's best to do this double hane, and then we'll usually, not here, we'll usually get something like this. So, okay. Or I guess we can also come down here. There'll be this cut, and then I guess this is Joseki, I think. Right? Yeah. And then maybe something a bit like this. I'm not sure how good it is because we have this extra stone here. I'm playing like what looks reasonable. It may not be correct, but in any case, the point is to avoid this kind of shape. So here I go for this first line move, and just like in the previous games, this is way too small. So imagine if black is to play again here. Say black makes a point, and then imagine if white gets to play again. Then, so this is like, I don't know, a couple of points, 3 points in Sente maybe, so that's like 6 points. Meanwhile, what's the value of this move? Is that, here versus this. So it's hard to say the value of the move, but all I mean to say is that this is much bigger because there are fewer stones. You can imagine that every subsequent stone that you, like, if this Q4 is like a first point, or like the top move because it's the first we played, then you can imagine the next move is not worth as much as 1. But here, how many moves were played in this corner before B2 was played? Way more. So this is perhaps a simpler reason, without thinking about it in like end game terms, of explaining why this move is bigger. So you'll get, if you're watching, you'll be able to win a lot of your games if you're just not following your opponent, and if you just play way faster. So okay, and then I play away, and I mentioned here it's technically okay, but there's this cut here, which makes me a bit uncomfortable. So I think as white, this is a little bit stronger shape. But then again, okay, maybe not stronger shape. Yeah, I would say that it's still, you'd still want to play these moves. And technically it's fine because you can Atari down this way and come over here. So it's not so bad. The issue is more that black gets A in Sente and this B Atari later. So there's Aji left behind, I guess, is the important thing. So I feel a bit uneasy about it, but there's nothing strictly that's that bad about it. So just a small note, I suppose. So anyway, you can see here that once again, we're taking the sides, and then somebody gets to play first in the center, and then the game kind of starts. And the same recommendation I would make to myself is just invade earlier. Just like, for instance, here, this, instead of playing these side moves, like, first of all, the corner here is bigger, but then you can also lean on this. So you can play these moves, like I mentioned before. So you can, you know, play something like this, or you can make shape this way. And the idea is that you're slowly isolating this stone, and then white isn't able to build so big, that kind of thing. So, I don't know, I just don't like these big framework games, and so I recommend to, oh, well, you don't have to avoid them. If you like them, then you can play them, but I personally don't like them. It's too boring. So, yeah, so I play here, and then white kind of ignores my move, and then I get to play B, which is a bit weird to me. I mean, if white is going to go for all of this, then, I don't know, why not just play here or something? But, okay, fine. I come in, and here I think the issue is that, yeah, I'm making points, but I'm not sure if this will be enough to win the game. To be fair, I didn't check the game results, so I'm not sure actually who wins. But you can see how I'm just kind of like following white's moves, which is, I think, like, if I do win, it's because I win on some reading stuff later. So let me see. This attachment. Here, remember to beware about your liberties. So here, this is 2, this is 3, this has 3. So there are a lot of cutting points right next to each other, a lot of stones with who are low on liberties. So, for instance, if black plays a Atari, then they can come into the center here. So then, yeah, then white has to play again over here, and all of this. So, I mean, instead, just play this way. And if black comes up, then you can just surround. That's the idea, basically. I wonder, you know, is white strong enough to go that far? I'm not quite sure, but that's not quite the point. The point is to keep solid. And let's see. It's a bit of a boring game. I'm not going to go through the moves where we're just following each other. Here, what I want to talk about is that you don't want to strangle your opponent. You want to make sure to leave enough space. So instead, you can play over here, and then maybe white gets this move in Sente, and then black has to extend. Maybe if black is being very courageous, they can play here. But you can see how when you play closer to white's moves, there are more, or white stones, there are more forcing moves. And so you just have to be more careful about that. Or what happens if we go this way? Something like this? Well, that gets captured in the ladder, so I can't go that far. So at least it looks like this cut is less powerful. So there's nothing wrong with playing this move, but then you can see how shape is a lot, like, deciding how far you go in terms of the balance of how strong that shape is depends on the reading. And the thinner your moves are, the better your reading needs to be in order to justify it. So if you're just starting to play the game, then just playing more solid shape makes sense. But I think the problem with me as a player at the moment is that I'm not invading, and I need to spend more time invading because otherwise, you know, that I'm kind of under this impression that, yeah, Go is a calm game and you just play the big moves and then you win, which is nice, but that's not really how the game is. That's only one half of how the game is. So the point is just, like, here there's this attachment, but I wouldn't go for it. I mean, here there's this, and you can come through. You can see how that's broken shape immediately. So once again, this is bad. And if I play over here, something that's quite interesting is that you can try to play like this. You can let the stone go, and then white can't go anywhere after that. So that's a really nice shape to know as well. So okay, we play this way, and here I let them through. Don't let them through. Like, we already discussed that we don't have to, but and even if, like, we got the Atari, can we play this way? I mean, I guess you technically still can surround, but it's a bit more sweaty palms. So, yes, and here, like, this is, like, super broken shape over here. let me see, like this. So yeah, this isn't what we want. We got to block our opponents. And here, this is fun. So like check the liberties on this group. So we have 1 and 2, and instead I decide, or actually 1 and 2 and 3, and I decide to remove one of them. So that's a bit of a sweaty palms moment. I was like, is there a Tsuji here? And the answer is no, because there's this Atari, and so, oh no, but you can play this Ko. Okay, yeah. So yes, this is bad. You shouldn't play this. Well, I mean myself, but I definitely shouldn't play this. So remember what I explained in another video is the rule of 5, where you should count the liberties on your stones, and if the stone has fewer than than 5 liberties, then that can open you up to Tsuji, and getting your shape broken. So you should be careful about that. So here, I mean, it didn't even take that much, but it's because I took my own liberty away. So that's pretty nasty. And yeah, so white plays this move, and I play Atari, and I'm able to capture these stones, which is nice. But then they play away, and I thought, oh yeah, they made a mistake, but it's actually okay. And yeah, now at this point we're just going to play endgame, and yeah, so they played a little bit too thinly over here, which is okay for me. And then they Tanuki at a very bad time, or not that bad. We'll talk about this in a second, but yeah, here we go. And the idea is that I can play something like this, and yeah, and the issue is, but what black can do is play this counter Atari, and once again we have this shape again, and then maybe we can play over here, and then it's okay. But yeah, it's a bit suspicious, but I don't think it works. So yeah, but then the game basically, what happens? I cut, and then I Atari. Yeah, they connect. So yeah, this stone here is not necessarily as important as you might think. And then yeah, and then the game finishes basically. I take the corner, and then what happens? I win by 2.5 points. So I definitely was playing far too slowly in the opening, and the only reason why I lost was, or why I won, was because I just managed to white made enough mistakes to blunder and fall behind. So yeah, once again, if I was black, I would recommend to do more invasions so that you're not so passive in the opening. Like white is way too big here, and so it's better to play in a more disruptive way. But yeah, that's everything that I have to say for this video. I'll move on to the next video, but of course for you this will be uploaded on a different day, so you won't know. But anyway, if you enjoy these videos, if you like the way how I teach, then submit your games for review. I'm really happy to review them. And yeah, otherwise, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.